Hello and welcome back to Best Bets. What's going on? I am Matt O'Leary alongside Newsday's Joe Manniello. Joe, how's it going?
Doing good, Matt. How are you?
Doing pretty good. It was another good week for us, both over 500, which is a good thing. You went 3-2 to bring yourself to 37, 38-1, and I went 4-1 to go to 29, 46-1. So hopefully hopefully the good vibes keep rolling. This is good. We're going to start things off with the Cowboys and the Giants. The Cowboys are favored by 10.5 here. It's a big number, but what's the take?
Yeah, huge number. My first thought was take the points, but I just can't do it. The Giants are a mess right now. We don't even know who's going to quarterback. Probably going to be Mike Glennon, but Jake Fromm might get in there if Glennon continues to play poorly. So huge number for a rivalry game, but it's not really a regular rivalry game. The Giants aren't 100%. They have a ton of injuries. No Daniel Jones. They lost earlier this season at Dallas 44-20 in the game where Jones got hurt and Barkley got hurt and Galladay got hurt in that game too. So it's a huge number, but what's more likely, 34-17 Cowboys or 23-20 game in the fourth quarter? I don't see this game being close. Dallas had a huge win last week at Washington. Get another win here, get to 10 wins, kind of almost wrap up the division and fight for that. Even possibly in the running for a first round bye. So not much to stay in this game. I think it's the Giants lose the 10, so be it. But I think you got to lay the points here.
Yeah, I agree with you. The 10.5 seems like a big number, but with all the injuries and the uncertainty at the quarterback position, I just couldn't talk myself into taking the Giants here. I absolutely think, we're much more likely to see a 30-13 kind of game. I just think this one could get ugly. I don't trust the Giants offense to score the amount of points that it's going to take to more than likely cover this number, as the Cowboys offense, they just, they continue to roll. And, they were able to beat Washington, who's been playing, much better football this past week. And the Giants just looked really bad against the Chargers. Now, I know they're coming back home, but that doesn't really even matter to me. I like the Cowboys a lot here. Don't be afraid of the big number and just roll with the team that's been playing good football. So Cowboys minus 10.5 here. We move from one New York local to the next, who is also big underdogs. The Dolphins are favored by 10 over the Jets. Same logic here.
Wow.
Yeah, 10 points.
I was 8.5.
Now I have it at 10 on FanDuel right now.
Really? Is it 10 everywhere else? Okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm laying the points. Same thing, same logic. Big number. I wish it was less than 10, but I mean, Dolphins, gotta give them credit. They were 1-7, and now they won 5 in a row, all covers, and they really made their decision to push back the bye. They played in London. I think it was week 6, and they decided not to have the bye and saved it to week 14. I think that's going to come in handy here. Last week they were off, recharged the batteries. Home against the Jets. I don't see Zach Wilson doing well against that blitz. He didn't face them the first time. So I think that's even another hindrance against them, not having seen the defense. So it was a close game the first time. The Jets had their chances in that game. A couple of bad penalties. They lost 24-17. I think this will be low scoring as well, but I don't see the Jets scoring many points. Maybe like 24-7 or 20-23. I just don't see the Jets scoring a lot of points here. And the Dolphins, while it's a huge number, they don't have a great offense. I think their defense could even score a touchdown here. So I just don't trust the Jets. And I picked it in the last few weeks with the whole, underdog mentality, but that was at home, and they've shown nothing, similar to the Giants. So again, if they lose by 7, so be it. I'm going to take the safer play here, and I'll lay the big number with the Dolphins.
Yeah, me too here. And I just don't trust this defense at all. I mean, Taysom Hill went nuts. Alvin Kamara went nuts against them last week. And for the Dolphins, Tua's been playing really good football the last few weeks, going into the bye week, and they've won 5 in a row. They've gotten themselves back in the mix in the AFC. Now, I think it's a long shot for them to, make some noise and get into a playoff spot, but they're playing for it, and they're still technically alive and on the outside looking in. But they're the much better team right now, top to bottom. Defensively, they get after the passer, and they like to blitz a lot, which that worries me for Zach Wilson. I think that's not the best of matchups for him. I think you get a little panicky and maybe make a mistake or two in this one. And I think the Dolphins could put up close to 30 points against this defense. There's no reason for me to believe that the Jets defense will keep them in the low 20s. So I agree. I don't think the Jets score nearly enough to cover this number. Give me the Dolphins in like a 30-17 kind of a game.
Okay.
As for our game of the week, we're going to go with a Saturday game. It's the Colts and the Patriots. Now, the Colts are favored by 2.5 in this one. What do we think?
Yeah, I'm baffled by the spread here. Colts are home. This is my game of the week. This is also my lock of the week. I love the Patriots this week. I don't know why they're getting points. At worst, it should be a pick 'em. I just don't understand why the Colts are getting nearly a field goal here. They're not the better team. I've been pro Colts all year. I picked them a lot. I love Frank Reich. I think Jonathan Taylor's having a great year. I really like the offensive line. Really good team. But something I noticed about them is that they beat up on the bad teams. They crushed the Jets. They beat the Texans twice. A couple other bad teams, but they lost both games to the Titans, 2 close games. But Carson Wentz always seems to make a mistake in these close games, and I don't trust them against Bill Belichick coach team on extra rest. Both teams were on a bye last week, so the Colts are on a bye here. You think, oh, that's an advantage, but wait a second, so is the Pats. So that's a complete wash. And these teams have some bad blood with the history with the Flakegate, even though it seems far removed without Brady and Andrew Luck there, but I just don't see Belichick losing after the bye here. I don't have the exact number, but I'm sure his record is pretty good after a bye. And I just think the Pats last game, they played Monday night 2 weeks ago, that crazy weather game. They only threw the ball 3 times, and they won the game. I just think they're on a mission. I mean, they were 2-4, and they won 7 in a row, all covers. So they've covered against the spread every week for basically 2 months. And I don't see them letting up here. The way the Chiefs are playing and the Titans, there's other teams there that have 9 wins too, so they want that first round bye, and it'll be tough to win at New England. So I think that this is a team on a mission. I think it'll be a close game. Colts are home, but I think the Pats. I think the defense has played too well. They've been allowing I don't know the exact number, but maybe under 14 points a game. I think during this winning streak, they having a lot of points. So I think it'll be low scoring, maybe 24-17, 24-20. I just trust the Pats more. It's all about the defense and Belichick for me, and I do not get the spread. So, like I always say, when the team that's getting points is the better team and it's a better spot, it's an easy pick. So Pats plus 2.5, lock of the week.
Yeah,
well, not for this segment, but it might fit.
I agree with you. Not for this segment too, but I absolutely love the Patriots this week getting 2.5 points. That makes 0 sense to me. I don't understand it. I get the Colts are the home team and they've been playing, pretty good football. They're not in the same level as New England, but still, I just don't get this one. To me, I mean, you look at the Patriots versus the Colts history-wise. I know that the names and the faces have changed, but the Patriots just always dominate the Colts, it feels like. And, with how this defense is playing, I think it's a perfect spot for them to, make Carson Wentz look more of like the quarterback he was the last couple of years with the Eagles. He's been playing, relatively well this season, but I just don't think this is a good spot for them. I think New England could win this one maybe like 27-20, something like that. But I just really am surprised that they are underdogs this week. And I think, if, as you always say, if you think they're going to win the game outright, might as well take them with getting 2.5 points. So give me the Patriots in this one as well. How about a best bet this week? Something else you like?
Yeah, one game that jumped out, a team that's been great against the spread, the Green Bay Packers. They're 10-2-1 against the spread. They're at Baltimore. I think the spread is 5.
4.5.
4.5. It was only 2, but with the whole Lamar Jackson, I don't know if he's going to play or not. But even if he plays, he's not going to get anywhere near 100%. They're down starting cornerbacks. They have a ton of issues. The Ravens. I think they've been overrated most of the year too. They had a couple of lucky wins, in my opinion. That they're 8-5, but I don't think they're that good. I think they're more like a 6-win team with a really talented quarterback who. And think about the game they beat the Lions with Justin Tucker and a 66-yard field goal. This isn't a dominant team, and they might not win a game the rest of the year with Jackson not being 100%. So the Packers, the defense has just been amazing, and no one even talks about it. And even if Rodgers has a toe issue, I'm not worried about it. He'll show up. And 4.5, I wish it was under 3 because it's on the road. But the Packers' track record this year, they've been almost automatic. 10-2-1 against the spread. Right now, if the playoffs started right now, they'd be the 1 seed. So they obviously have motivation to keep going here. So I think they're going to win. And if they win by 3, so be it. But I think they'll win by at least 7. So give me the Packers, Rodgers, and the defense have another good game, 30-20, something like that, so 27-17. So Packers -4.5, best bet.
Yeah, I like the Packers a lot this week too, but I'm good for my best bet this week. I'm going to go with the Titans -1.5 against the Steelers. Now, this is a huge spot for this Tennessee team, and the Steelers have played pretty well at home, but I just think when you look at the landscape of the AFC, there's so many teams fighting for that number 1 seed. And I think, the Titans, they have to play well down the stretch in order to keep themselves in that race. Now, the Steelers obviously fighting for a playoff spot, but I just think the Titans are the better team, and I think they, need this one more in terms of, getting that number 1 seed. The Steelers, I don't know. I haven't trusted them all year. Maybe that's going to come back and backfire for me again this week, but with the better team only, having to lay 1.5, that felt, comfortable enough for me. I get it's a home game. I know Tomlin's really good as an underdog at home, but something tells me the Titans are going to win this game.
It's funny you said that they need the game more. I disagree. I think the Steelers need the game more because even the Titans lose, they're still going to win the division. So the Steelers, to me, this is their season. So I actually like the Steelers.
All right, there we go. How about an underdog?
Let's not train of thought there for a second. There were a few that jumped out this week, but with all the COVID issues, the spreads are changing so much that I didn't even set the lines in our pool. I'm pushing it back a week, a day. Like, for example, I was going to take the Raiders +5 because I thought that line was ridiculous. And then it kept moving down. Now they're actually favored now because Baker Mayfield has COVID. He might not play. I thought about taking the Bears Monday night because Kirk Cousins is 1-9 on Monday nights and only 1-5 against the Bears. But I'm going to go with the team that has won 2 games in a row for the first time all year, clicking a little bit, and I like this spot for them a lot. The Seattle Seahawks at the Rams, getting 4.5, getting 5.
Yeah, 4.5.
Okay, so that line dropped as well. They were getting 7 a couple of days ago, but the Rams have a ton of issues with COVID. And it's not even really about that. I mean, obviously that doesn't help them, but I think this is a good spot for Seattle. One, it's a rivalry game. Games are always close. And Rams have had their number of late, and they beat them early in the year when Russell Wilson hurt his finger, and then Geno Smith almost came back and played well in Thursday night game, but they won. But I think this is going to be a close game. I think this is a big letdown spot for the Rams. I mean, last week was their best win of the year at Arizona Monday night. So now they had this amazing win at Arizona on prime time. They're feeling themselves. They're feeling great. Now they have all these COVID issues. So it's been a tough week for them. So I think and Seattle hasn't been great. So it's not a vintage Seattle team. So I don't think they're going to overlook them per se, but they're not getting, a dominant Seattle team. So they could, maybe they'll say, hey, listen, this Seattle's 5-8. We already beat them this year. Even if we're missing some guys, we're going to beat them. Don't worry about it. I think Seattle has a long shot, outside shot, to get one of the wild card spots, which is hard to believe. They're 5-8. They were 3-8, but they have an easy schedule. If they can win this game, it would be crazy if they get that last spot. There's 17 games this year, so at 9-8, that might get the last spot. And I just think 4.5 is too many points. I think it's going to be a close game, 3-point game either way. If I had to pick a winner, I'd take the Rams because they're home. And they're a much better team, but they have so many issues with the COVID and the letdown factor. I think this is a close game. I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle won. So 4.5, I'm going to take the points, and I think it'll be a close game, 23-20 kind of game. So I like Seattle a lot, plus 4.5.
Okay. For me, I'm going to go with the New Orleans Saints plus 10.5 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I don't think they're beating the Buccaneers, but Tom Brady struggled against this defense the last 2 years. Now, I know he got him in the playoffs. They were able to win, but the Saints have won every regular season game that Tom Brady started for the Bucs the last couple of years when these two teams have matched up. And I think this is going to be a tight game. I think it's going to be on the lower scoring side. So I think that plays in the Saints' favor. And, like I said, I think the Bucs win this game. They're definitely the better team. There's no doubt about that. And I don't think Taysom Hill's really going to be throwing the ball all that much against this defense. But I think you're looking at maybe like a 24-20 kind of a game where Tampa Bay comes out on top. But I think this is going to be closer than a lot of people think.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. At first, I was going to lay the points, but I think I agree with you now. It's just a good point about the defense playing well against them. And similar to the Steelers and the Seahawks, the Saints need the game. I mean, obviously the Bucs want the first seed, want that bye, but it's not as important as, they're fighting for the lives of 6 and 7, the Saints. So if they want to stay in the wild card picture, they're going to give it their all. And it's a rivalry game. 10.5 is a big number.
Absolutely. So to run through these real quick, for the Cowboys and Giants, both Joe and I like the Cowboys minus 10.5, and we are both on the Dolphins minus 10 over the Jets. For our game of the week between the Colts and the Pats, we are both on the underdog Patriots at 2.5. Best bet, I like the Titans minus 1.5 over the Steelers. Joe is going with the Packers minus 4.5, and they play the Ravens this week. Underdog, I just said I'm on the Saints plus 10.5 against the Bucks, and Joe is on Seattle plus 4.5 against the Los Angeles Rams. Joe, appreciate it as always. Hopefully it's another winning week for us, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, man. Sounds good. Thank you.